A background, the class I'm taking
Right.
is about what they call utopian societies. So basically, like in the real world right now, what are intentional communities that are trying to create a better world? That's basically it. That's what the class is.
Okay.
And I was like,
Right.
Taino Woods. You know,
You're like,
immediately I'm like, I know one. I've been a part of one. And
right.
so basically that's I have to basically she was like in an interview account with somebody that is trying to do that, that's trying to create a better world through like through literally the way they're living their lives, like a practice and an offering, and like even maybe living that way. And I was like, that's Chantal and Jesse, that's Diana Woods, that's like everything that that I've been around with you guys. So that's kind of where that's the background. And then I'm just gonna talk about it on my last day of class. Like I present it in a present, like as part of another presentation. I'll include the interview, and I'll just
Right.
like talk about what we talked about. And I'm probably also gonna put some of it in a paper that I have to write. So thank you. This is helping me out a lot for this class because you know te lo agradezco mucho. So that's one of the first questions, which was like, what she, basically they asked us to ask like, what is the vision? What's the quote unquote goal for you at Taino Woods? Like how, and if you want, you can talk about how it started, and you know, and if it's still forming, that's okay too. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, I started to walk the red road about 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And most of that walk was due to just um, just living a life that felt like it was limited, and that we, wake up, we go to work, we go to school for a career. We think it's going to be the best thing ever.
Oh
And then
yeah.
we go and do it. We go buy houses. That's been part of my walk too, is investing in real estate
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to grow um, the financial aspect of us being in this human incarnation. Um, and just really feeling like no matter how much I was able to manifest and to work towards and be able to feel it, embody it, be it, there was still something missing. So um, it had to be the spirituality part. So
Yeah.
when my son left the house, I took that really hard. He was like 17, and he went to live with his girlfriend after he had just had a baby with another girl.
Okay.
And that was not the vision I had for him.
Sure.
And it really, really disturbed me to the point of, just being in a dark place. Yeah. So I called my cousin one day, who has always been very connected to nature, has always been the weird one in the family. But I always found him intriguing, but I never really admitted it. And I was always interested in nature, but I called him and he said, I have this sweat that I'm going to. It's interesting that you called me. We should go tomorrow.
Amazing.
And I was like, sweat? Looked it up. People die in sweat. What are you doing? What do you mean that's what I'm going to do tomorrow? He's like, look, do you trust me? Just come through.
Yeah.
So then, I went, and it was beautiful, and it was very gratifying. It was profound. Yeah. I felt like it filled me with something that I hadn't felt in a long time, aside from giving birth. It was like a birth, a new birth of something that had a lot of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I just continued. I started vision questing. I started, sitting with medicines, with psychedelic and theogens, and just really opening up my heart, rewiring my mind from my heart, and just practicing in the traditional indigenous practices that have either been taken away, have fallen on the wayside. Our parents didn't grow up learning these things, so they didn't teach us. So I said, let me just continue with this, and I really followed, and I believed, and I, prayed for a place that could bring healing the way it's been brought to me and has helped me transform and like love life and love myself. I wanted to bring that to other people and have them feel that, because if I'm feeling this way, how many other people can be feeling that way,
Yeah.
I was almost in jail, with the way my mind was before I started walking these ways. And then my husband started, then, he stopped drinking alcohol and, drugs. So he started to open up and really want to help build a new world, So we kept praying on it, and we were able to manifest the land through a lot of hard work of searching, and envisioning, and believing and seeing it and feeling it. And we purchased the land in 2017.
Wow.
We're here alone. We was here alone, cutting our paths into the woods.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. You know what I mean?
Of course, I can only imagine.
So that we can bring our other community, our original community here, and it ends up being that way. So we were alone building this, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
I think I forgot the question. Let's go back.
Oh, no. So that's, I was gonna say, just a quick just a quick question based on what you're saying. Like, when you bought the land, you were envisioning having Sweat Lodge there with your original community, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah. So participating in the ceremonies of sweat, potentially danza, dancing.
The moon dances and the sun dances.
The moon dances, sun dances, but maybe even tying into the Taino ways of dance and prayer, which is something that we've been able to achieve, and doing a vision quest here.
Yeah.
We've, been working towards that, working with the people to give them the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we were envisioning, is that our original community was going to come here. We were going to grow here, because we kept trying to do this at other lands, and it was cut short because either the owners, they were white people, but they were the caretakers of the land, and the ones that made the decision whether we could stay there or not.
Right.
And so the first land we had to leave because they sold it. So we went to another land that was also owned by, white people, and they, have changed and changed the whole way of the way we were practicing on that land. They've moved people to another end of it where we've had to break down again and build. And so I had told the chief, our cacique, that why don't we just find our own place? Spirit told me that we can do this, like that there is a space that can be prepared for us, and we don't have to bring on other karmas. We can start fresh, pray with the land and see if it'll accept us. And so he said, yeah, let's go look. So me, Jesse, and 3 other people were going to go in on buying Taino woods, but in the final hour, after we put in all the work and got everything in line to move forward, they dropped off.
Okay.
And then we were kind of left with making the decision and even finding the money, because we thought we had it with them.
Yeah, wow. But the commitment that you guys had to stay with it, like, that's amazing. The vision that you had. And so, okay, so it sounds like you had a vision in the beginning that was about that community, that then kind of didn't turn out that way.
No.
And then you were on the land alone, 2017 to 2020, just kind of clearing it, preparing it,
building the cane, building. We started with our pop-up we started with a tent, actually. A tent is where we were staying.
Okay.
And then it was just really hard on our bodies because we were doing back-breaking work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thankfully, we did what we needed to do.
And it was just the two of you doing all this? Just you
and
and
it was
Justin?
mostly just the two of us.
Holy
yeah, every
crap.
now and then, every couple of months, we might have had a person come through, help us out for a day, maybe two. But then after that, it was just mostly 90%.
Wow.
98%, 99%, Jesse and I.
Wow.
So we built all of the structures that you've seen there. Pretty much ourselves. We had some help with the deck by the river with Okama Bon. That was like after we built the Kane. We already had the sheds. We had the kitchen, the outside kitchen.
Wow.
We paid somebody to build a little tiny balcony that's connected to the Kane.
The Kane is the Maloka or something else? Okay.
We used to call
you
it
guys
Maloka.
built that yourself? You and Jesse?
We built it ourselves, yeah.
Get
and then
the heck out.
The end, with the roof, we had two men that came through and helped Jesse with the top part because I couldn't reach. And it was very heavy for me to,
Chantal! I didn't know that. That makes it so much more special, that Maloka. Like that it was the two of you. I thought it was like a group for sure. That's wild.
No, it wasn't a group. Yeah. So it was just us and Spirit, My daughter was actually around during the time that we were building. You were around when we built the Kane, right, Jaylee? The Kane, you was around. Yeah. Yeah, and our granddaughters.
Wow. Okay, so then let me fast forward to when I met you, which was the summer solstice of 2020. Just for a second.
Segue?
No, remember summer 2020? You had that big sweat where you got like 70 people, and it was and you had our favorite Roman. You and the Italian Strega, you remember her?
Kairava.
Yes, her.
Yeah, Kairava, Madeline, and
Roman.
Joanna.
And yes.
And Joanna.
Yes, all of them.
Yeah, all of my favorites.
It was really like a special, magical. That was the first time I came up there.
That was really
Luna had told us about it.
Yeah. That's right.
And that's how I came up there. So I remember. I know. She adores you guys. And she really spread the word with the Brujas of Brooklyn community, which is where I was. I was with the Brujas of Brooklyn doing, Kundalini, and she was like, "You guys should all come up to this thing that's happening on summer solstice." And we were like, "Okay, we're coming," But okay, so was that your first big community gathering?
I would say yes, it was.
Okay.
Yep, and then Luna was bringing a lot of groups as well.
Yeah.
Her and Graciela.
Yeah, Graciela.
And then I think at Tandem, we were also opening it up to campers. So this is now the general public because we would like them to also have access to these healing ways, And that was a way for us to grow our community as well as through the camping.
So when you had to make this, when you realized that your other community wasn't coming.
Right.
And that it was just you and Jesse on the land doing all this work.
If you want to say, well, that gathering that you came to, those beautiful leaders that were there, you could say that was my other community, right? Because they were there.
Yeah.
It might not have been all of the, members.
Yeah.
But the leaders of those communities were here.
Okay.
For that. They just weren't here on a continuous basis, right?
Yeah.
Like, not the way I thought.
Yeah.
the way I prayed for it to be.
Yeah.
But they still were.
Yeah. No, of course. Okay, that's good.
Even from a distance.
Got it. And they were supportive. They just didn't participate in the whole buying and everything in the way that you thought that it was going to be. Okay, so that's interesting. And that's okay, right? Like that's kind of what I'm getting at. So it feels like
Yeah.
it then like spirit to, and I love when you say that, was just like sometimes things don't go the way you think, but spirit had a plan, right?
Right.
Because clearly they still were involved, these leaders, but then you were able to something else happen, which is like me and Melissa and the Brujas
Right.
and everybody started to come up.
Right.
You started to open it up to exactly, which was your original vision, to people that needed the healing.
Right.
My
And there were healers too.
yes, and that we're healers too. Yes, oh my God, that's true too. That's right. So the so it sounds to me, because my original question was like, what is your vision? But it sounds like the vision has been evolving
Right.
as you've been. But the original vision, no matter what, was to offer a space where people could connect to nature, connect to the land,
Period.
and
Yes.
heal, and kind of, yeah, I love that.
And feel like I feel like, because when I'm at the land, I always feel like I'm the only person in the world, and that's the thing. You're nothing. You're able to really create the most, like, in yourself. So I want to teach people that they may not get because manipulated them to do so that they could survive. And then they manipulate themselves to keep doing it.
Right.
But there's other ways too where you don't have to manipulate. You could just,
Yeah.
you're freely wanting to do this,
Yeah.
and you're doing it because you want to do it, and then in turn you're helping yourself in the process.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You're able to create a lot.
So beautiful, Chantal. I love that.
Thank you.
It's so true. I mean, everything you're saying is so true. I think just to go back to that sweat real quick, because for me, I remember being so impressed by the leaders, which included you, by the way. I remember looking at you and being like, she's such a badass. Like, because you were making you were the fire keeper. And I was like, wow, that person is amazing. And then, because the leaders were kind of like just they were helping, but I don't know. I was like really watching you. And then the leaders, I really connected with when we did the 4 directions.
Yeah.
When we went in the sweat. And I remember thinking, like, the Italian lady that you had there, she felt off, like, I'm like, what is she doing here? Because this is a sweat, right? But then I loved it because I was like, you're including, oh shoot. Poor. Sorry, it dropped.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I hit it, but you were talking about Kairava. You said that
you
yourself.
It kind of yes. Because I remember that she was saying, like everybody was like, oh, she's a strega, which I know means like Italian witch, which I don't have a problem with that. I love that, but I was like, they don't do sweat lodges, so, but then I was like, how cool that you're including all these different traditions. Like, she's here too. She's offering her magic too, and her healing wisdom too. So is that something that you've always been, I guess what I'm saying, like, you've always been so open to whoever has something to offer.
Yeah, well, she's been an excellent teacher, in my life. And she works a lot with the Santo Daime and, ayahuasca.
Yeah, okay.
And she does, she's a moon dancer.
Okay.
She's one of the oldest moon dancers.
Wow.
She was in moon dance when they all got, like, held hostage, by gunpoint.
What?
And, and she still went back for 9 more years,
Wow.
That's when she really learned how to pray, she said. When they were all at gunpoint, and they were all face down on the ground,
Because somebody was trying to rob them, or because somebody...
Yeah, they got robbed.
Oh, my God.
People's passports were taken, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, my God.
Money. So, she's always been viewed by as a strong woman. And I love her messages. You know, she's hard. You know, she could be hard, but she can also be very soft. I've seen her.
Yeah.
And she's one of the people that really empowered me to pour my first lodge. She wasn't the first person to pass me the bucket. It was Kunana that gave me the bucket first.
Okay.
And before her, Akichita did, which is another man who's been walking these ways longer than me and had been working with our chief for many years. He taught me how to pray with tobacco.
Yeah.
He passed me the bucket, you know, a little bit before Kunana. But Kairava is the one that brought all of the antlers. She brought a ladle for me to pour. She brought so many gifts to say, you don't need to wait for your chief to tell you that you can pour. You know, you've been doing the work. You're a strong, powerful woman. You can manifest. Look around you.
Yeah.
Look at what you've been able to manifest. You can do this.
Wow.
Just do it.
Wow.
So she brought a whole crew, like her whole community here. You know, that was a big portion of the amount of people that were here. You know, she brought a lot of people.
Yeah.
So she came to really like encourage and empower me. You know.
Okay.
So
no, I love that. Okay, so then you have this original vision, then it doesn't go that way, but this other thing starts to happen where you're still being able to bring your leaders to the land, and somehow through the new connections you're making, Luna, all these different, Graciela, the word
Luna
starts.
is an old connection.
Oh, she is. Okay.
We've known each other since 2013.
Wow. Okay. That's beautiful. I didn't know that. that.
Yeah, she's watched me in my progression, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Through the years. Yeah.
Well, but then through Luna and through other folks, new people start to come on the land, like me, and new people like start to come to connect with the things that you were already connecting with for a while. Right. And so then now your vision for the land starts to kind of shift, right? And I would say like and I've been witness, for the last 4 years to everything you offer and how you've grown. Like you said, now you're in a house there, which is wild, it's like, holy crap. It's amazing.
6 years in the woods.
Amazing. Years. So then it's like, at this point, how are you, like, I have two questions. I'll ask the first question and then I'll ask the second question. At this point, what's your vision? Like, and again, knowing that it's constantly, like you said, up to Spirit's leading it and changing it. But what would you say is the growing vision of Taino Woods? And then I want to say, like, it's you're reconnecting with the Taino ways and the indigenous ways and the Red Road. Like, in other words, that's all part of it. But then we're in this modern world. So is it about? I think I know what it's about, but I want you to answer. Like, is it about, like, how do we bring these ways into this modern world that we're in? Like, and how do you make that? How do you bridge that? Because it's like so different, right? Like like you were saying, technology, the ways we live, but it's like this is here for everyone to I don't know if that's making sense. Like, how are you bridging those worlds of like technology and everything, and the ways that you're showing on the land to everybody?
Well, we actually through Edgardo, and some other key players, our core members, we've created a website that makes it accessible for people to not only connect with us via technology, but also they get newsletters to know what it is that we're doing here in the woods and what our offerings are. This year, we offered our second annual dance, which is a duality dance. Both men and women come together for 24 hours, and we pray and sing and dance. Wow. And we do that for a full 24 hours. Some people take turns, and we rest and we eat and we, And that's how we bridge it is through tapping into social media, putting out there some of parts of our ceremonies, so people can see us coming together, seeing us in our regalia. And there's some parts of the ceremonies that we don't post, of course, that, things like Nature Quest, we might have put some of the end pictures, celebration pictures up, but not when we're involved, in that prayer.
Yeah.
We smoke for the people at 4:00 in the morning, at 7:00, at 4 p.m., at 7 p.m. We go check on them. Mostly me. I check on them. Our chief came on the second night, and we checked on them together. Yeah, Roman came. And so did one of my teachers. He was here for the 4 days with his wife, Bear Claw. And it was beautiful, to have that offering and to, just have people that have already been walking with us for a few years, that have learned how to receive stones, how to work the fire. It was good to have them who have also gone out to our original community to go and do Vision Quest with them, so that they could come back and bring that experience to help us with our Vision Quests, to hold space for other people. So we're doing, a lot of apprenticeship here, where we're teaching people how to not only help with the Taino Woods Rising, but to bring this back to their communities, to their homes, and to their practice.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's the best way to kind of bring both.
Yeah.
Have to go to work, and work in the system, but then also disconnect from the system and connect with the nature system,
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Oh, you did.
For you.
Of course, my love. Yeah, no, you did. You did so well. And I think, yeah, and I mean, it's like the ways in which that, like, I can speak to the ways in which that's making the world better because of how I've been impacted by the work that you guys are doing, In other words, like, I see everything differently because of what I learned on the land and with the land, with you guys, like, all together with community, but also with the land. And I think that everybody that I know that's been there, Melissa, the Brujas, like, we all have spoken about how that, like, that's changed my whole life, my whole perception, like the way I connect to land everywhere I go, even here.